It is a pleasure today to introduce our speaker, John Rose. John is a native of Clintwood, Virginia. He and his family moved here at his age of 15. He has 6 siblings, so it's a big family that moved. 1998, he graduated from Tusculum with BS in Organizational Management. Immediately went into the business, construction business, and for 22 years he was in various types of construction management, that kind of thing. And then also on the side, for about 10 years, he had a private business building houses, just to keep himself busy, I guess, and help the family. But about 4 years ago, John became the Economic Development Director for Kingsport. And I might add, just a personal note, it didn't take him long to become the best local government economic development person in the area, in my opinion. But during that time period, he got his certification from University of Tennessee's Center for Industrial Services, Economic Development, Tennessee certification, and was finished, I guess, now all the work for the Oklahoma University International Certification for Economic Development, which is recognized as the best in the country and all. And then, of course, about 11 months ago, he became the director of what is called currently, for maybe, we may get an official announcement here in a minute, NETHub, but there may be a new announcement soon. And so he is the director for the last 11 months of the regional economic development effort. And certainly he's got his team here with Scott Robinson and Mackenzie Templeton. And also I want to say that John has 3 children, one of which is a surprise guest today to John, Caleb. And I understand he has a new job in Nashville, maybe, starting pretty soon with somebody. And but it is a pleasure to have John Rose here, and something that means a whole lot to this region, in my opinion, is the regional economic development effort. So, John, come forward.
Tell a story about my great-grandmother, if you've heard me speak before. 1957, I was not alive yet. I was born in 70. She was talking to somebody she worked with. She was a school teacher at Clintwood High School. And the gentleman said, I'm going to have to leave teaching because I can't feed my family on what I make. And then he proceeded to tell my grandmother what he made. And it was way more than what my grandmother made. And she was raising 4 kids on her own because her husband had died from war injuries from World War II. So she went to the district superintendent in Dixon County, Virginia, and in 1957, she was able to ensure that every female teacher in the county had equal pay for equal work. And that is a very proud thing that my grandmother did. And so she started economic development early in our life, right? So thank you for getting this fixed. And this is our current name. When I took the job 11 months ago, Monday is what it'll be. Part of that was we're going to do a strategic plan, and we were going to increase our service area. And you'll see later, we probably interviewed about 120 people, got their opinion on our strategic plan, and they're like, please, we don't need another organization that's called Northeast Tennessee something. And don't use Appalachian Highlands. That was 80% vote out of about 120 people. So we listened very closely. We hired 2 companies. Another marketing company volunteered to do it for free. If we liked what they gave us, we'd get it for half price. We told them all 3 no. 3 companies didn't come up with a name. And so first part of this presentation is about how we come up with a name. It's okay. Sorry. Don't get nervous. It is. That's okay. I can do this presentation. I got the slides memorized. There's 22 of them. We'll be just fine. So I was having them. Oh, there we go. So it needs to include more of our region. And we knew we were going to be going into Tennessee and Virginia. And so I was sitting in a meeting with a community leader, and they said, this is what you do. Why don't you name yourself this? I did not say a word, but I wrote it down. And that was the name that come about. And here's how that name come about. We're building regional investment, development, growth, and engagement. And that came about from whiteboard work. That's how it started. I walked back to the office, or drove back to the office, wrote the word bridge on the board, and my team here, Mackenzie Templeton, who is our development coordinator, Scott Robertson, who our communications director, we started making notes and making notes and making notes. And we didn't tell this person. We went to all of our board members. They loved it. And then we told that person. And he was at a red light. He about wrecked when I told it. He could, because I sent it to him while I was talking to him. So we feel like this name says what we do, where we do it, and the tenets of our strategic plan will tell us how we're going to do it. There we go. That's just some other logos. These are our supporters and board members. We have private support, but we also have 4 governmental officials. We have the mayors of Sullivan, Washington County, Tennessee, and the mayor of Kingsport, and the city manager from Johnson City currently. Since that's not going to show up right, and it's froze, we'll just not worry about it. Here we go. Yeah, it's working now. It's on and off. Battery might be going bad. So, thoughts. I was meeting with a developer that's looking at doing a large project in the region, and he says, I just can't get traction when I work in other areas of the country. And I said to him, I said, the reason is the average person views you as workload. Our region views you as opportunity. And this is a group that is going to invest almost $150 million in multiple projects in the region. And our region, not just Bridge, not just an individual, we are the type of a community that want to help businesses grow. And so that's where that quote come from. We want to be proactive, we're energetic, and we're going to be transparent. We've been very open. We have had nonprofits, mayors, business leaders, and I could go on with a long list of people that have been involved in our strategic plan process. There we go. So we will talk about the process, our strategic plan, and current projects today. We listen to understand. We help for the right reason with no ulterior goal. And we want to do this for individual communities and partners. It's like, well, how have you been received? Well, before I was announced I was taking this job, I got a couple phone calls from people that really upset at me. I mean, they used some words, and I was like, I'll pray for you. Or I'll put you in a grave with my little brother. No, I did not say that. But, I truly, the phone call I made to Chris McCart, and I've told Chris McCart this sitting in his office 2 days ago, was the hardest phone call I ever made in my professional career to leave Kingsport, Tennessee. But I can truly say that I prayed about the decision, and I felt like, if our region is going to work together, I want to be part of that. And it has been the fastest, most rewarding 11 months of my life. And it's great that I get to stand here today. I gave my first economic development presentation in this room to this club, and I wanted to put our new name out and talk about what was going on to this club, because y'all been a big part of my professional career. Thank you. So we did a lot of roundtables with a lot of people, a lot of one-on-ones. Younger and associates helped us with that. And we come up with our strategic plan. I'm not going to read our strategic plan today. Our website has went live this morning. You can go to our old email address, NETHub.com, and it is live. You can see it. Sometime Sunday evening or Monday, the new website will go live, which is bridgeregional.com. There's like a 2-day lag between when you upload and when it goes live. So you can see, you can go on there and fill out a contact card, and you can get a full copy of our strategic plan. But I'm going to go through the 6 highlights of our strategic plan. Number 1 is market data and research. If you don't know this, and Stephen can attest to this, software and research data is very expensive. The Bridge right now spends about $20,000 a year on software to help communities, nonprofits, and partner economic development organizations do research for grants, to recruit companies, and to do a plethora of other things, including the impact of what a job or what a new project has on our economy. So this has been very well received, so much that one small community says, we're taking software out of our budget next year. That's $5,000 for this small community that we were talking to, and we're going to let the hub help us with our research. Well, imagine the impact we can have if 4 or 5 communities can save $5,000 in their budget, and they can use that to help recruit business. So we're really excited about the reception we've had on market research and data. This is a list of the data that we do. You can go on our website, click on it, and it'll give you a list of what it does, or you can request a custom report and be happy to help with. Right now we focus on businesses, nonprofits, and governments and economic development organizations. The next big project we found as we were going through the strategic plan process is air service at Tri. That has been a topic of conversation for years. So I sat through 3 meetings and heard somebody say, we need somebody to help, we need somebody to help, we need somebody to help. And then I said, why not us? Because they needed an organization that can work on both sides of the state line. We will talk about air service at the very end and give you some statistics and an opportunity that we're going to announce on December 4th at Hard Rock in Bristol. They've agreed to host us for a community air service committee community meeting. Tourism is another. There's some translation issues between what I uploaded and what this projector. I promise you, I am not that bad of a typer. I had this presentation done 3 weeks ago, so it's the computer's fault. That's all we're going to say, okay? But tourism is one of the top means of revenue for a lot of communities. Hotel motel tax helps a lot, but the more people that come here, the less of a burden we have on our property tax for our communities. That is why we view tourism and air service as a must, as one of our strategic tenets. We also believe that air service and tourism helps with talent attraction. So your question is, well, how does it do that? When you're trying to attract a younger demographic to take an engineering job or a design job or a medical doctor job, they like to be able to travel. They like to enjoy time away from home. And so talent attraction, if they know they can get on an airplane and leave for the weekend and get back with direct flights, you're more likely to be able to retain quality employees and attract quality employees. So as you can see, these 3, air service, tourism, and talent attraction, work hand in hand. Real estate development. The next 2, real estate development and site development, is very, very, very important for our area. I have a lot of experience at that. That Vic Davis taught me a long time ago. I'm not embarrassed, Vic, with this comment, but I remember my first meeting with a surveyor. Do you remember that meeting, Vic? And I didn't know anything. I walked out of that meeting, and I looked at Vic, I went, well, what's a benchmark? I had no idea. But I know what a benchmark is today, and I appreciate the opportunity that I had there. But with the experience that I personally have in real estate and property development, a lot of people that participate in our strategic plan conversation said we want this organization to help communities and private developers develop property, help them understand how things work. So 2 of the biggest projects right now, you'll see a little later, we're currently working on housing projects that total about 1,000 units for the region. It's a big deal. That's what we need. And it is an absolute pleasure to be able to sit down with a developer and be able to say, you need to think about rephasing this. You need to think about a different road alignment. You need to think about your phase as compared to your TIF. And it has been received with open arms from developers, and we are excited about this part of our strategic plan. Making sure I leave y'all plenty of time for hard questions. It's okay. Oh, there we go. Site development. You say, why do we say one versus the other? Well, site development, we are really focused on helping, especially a lot of our smaller communities. A lot of our outlying counties don't have an economic development professional other than maybe a state representative in their counties. And we have had great reception in working with these counties and saying, hey, do you need research done? Do you need conceptuals done? we're hoping to grow to where we can actually help some of these communities with phase ones. That's an environmental study that's needed before a developer will ever look at a project. And so if they look at it, it helps speed the project up. So this has been a very beneficial part of our strategic plan that also has been very, very well received. So here's our current projects. Air service we talked about. We have provided information to assist the community in recruiting 2 national retailers currently that are not in the region. We've already talked about the houses. We're helping a developer with a business park in the region. We've helped a community that there was a flood damaged community. They're like, we're in the middle of our Main Street program application. We need help finishing it because if we don't get it finished, it's going to cost us $500,000. And so we were able to jump on that. Mackenzie did that. I won't take credit for something she did, and got them that information within 24 hours. Those are things that it feels good to help people when they're in need. We've also helped with data for a tech startup. And a big one that we have some nonprofits that were losing employees, high turnover. So they come to us. One of our softwares allows us to do a wage survey to compare what they're paying to what surrounding businesses are paying or what like businesses are paying. And they realized that Taco Bell was paying more. And we could prove that. Here's the business within so many miles that are paying more than what you're paying. So that's a great benefit. We called my staff right after the flood happened. I was like, hey, how are we going to direct people? And we knew that it wouldn't be a long-term thing, but we set up, let's go back to the we, Mackenzie and Scott set up a website in about 12 hours. In the next 24 hours, we had 1,200 unique visitors, 39 states, 6 foreign countries, and multiple emails from people saying, where can I help in the community? Had a lady from Atlanta, Georgia say, which nonprofit do I need to come and help with? Now we're redirecting that. Once the other TEMA and United No Ways, everything got up, we offered all of our information to them. But it was nice to be able to help people in that short term to help people get benefits during or be benefited by our efforts during the flood recovery. We also have helped the business with helping them recruit a business, even though they're a flood damage company, community. They were recruiting a new business to their location, and we were able to help with that. And then we also do grant research. But I promised a little more information about air service. I have this chart memorized. People goes, well, it's the airport's fault. Well, I'd like to blame stuff on Gene, but I can't. He's a friend, and it's not the airport. Here's what happens. Asheville's the center chart. TYS is Knoxville. They have, if you look at the green, just look at the green portion, they have 32 and 39% of low-cost and ultra-low-cost carriers, okay? Which means they are putting pressure on legacy airlines such as Delta, United, American. So that helps push their fares down. If you look at Tri right now, they have less than 9% of their seats are low-cost or ultra-low-cost. So American and Delta are running at about 79 or 80% occupancy or filled seats. That is their sweet spot. If they can get anywhere near 80, those next 20% of seats are at or above market rate. You know that if you tried to get a later flight. And so what do we as a community, what can we as a community, and when I say community and region, we're not just talking about Northeast Tennessee, we're talking about Southwest Virginia, because if you look at the landmass served by the Tri-Cities Airport, it's much larger landmass served in Southwest Virginia than it is in Tennessee. Because if you're going to calculate landmass in Tennessee, you have to go halfway between Tri-Cities and Knoxville and halfway between Tri-Cities and Asheville, because those people are going to go south. So our big area south, and it even reaches into eastern Kentucky. So how do we help people that want to go on vacation be able to fly out of Tri? So we are currently negotiating and have a deal on the table to bring a new airline that will offer, we were hoping to get one major direct flight to a major tourism destination. This airline has come in and offered 2. And so the first question out of a businessman's mouth was, well, how does supporting a tourist flight help me on business? Because here's why. If the people that are flying on the legacy airlines can get a direct flight that is lower cost, that's going to open seats up on the legacy airlines. And a human doesn't make a decision on what the airline rate is. It's an algorithm. When that average seats start going down to 79, 77, 71, they immediately, their fares start dropping. So that helps every business in the area travel more cost effective. So that is why we need a new airline. And we'll talk about the cost of that here in just a second. But here's the staggering statistic. 60% of people that could fly out of Tri fly out of Asheville and Knoxville because the fares are more expensive. It don't make them bad people. Money's tight. Money ain't free. It's hard to raise a family. So if we can bring this airline in, we have to give them a decision by early January, prove that we've raised funds. We can open up 2 major markets with direct flights multiple times a week. And the beauty of this airline is they can also add additional direct flights out of the Tri as they grow. So it is a community project. We have to raise $2 million. And I just told you everything that was on that sheet to help our community. We need public and private support. This is a community project. That's the 7th time I've said it. They say in sales you have to say something 7 times for everybody to remember it. It is not a bridge project. We do not care if we get credit for it. But if we can develop and get this off the ground, every business, every individual, every municipality will benefit from additional travel. Because here's why. Those flights we're going to market in the destinations that they're coming from. So now we have the ability to get tourists that want to see East Tennessee with a direct flight to be able to come directly into Tri. So the understatement is that we are excited about this project. If we can get a commitment, and we've already one county already stepped up and they've already wrote a resolution. Thank you very much. Had to think about that word. I've never wrote a resolution, so I got Scott to. Scott had never wrote one, but the county commissioner said it was great. So it's a significant contribution, but obviously till they vote on it, it's not factual. So we're excited. We are meeting with, we've already met, as you said, with the City of Kingsport City Manager. We're going to be meeting with government officials and private parties between now and December 4th. We hope to have a majority of it raised by December 4th and be able to tell people how much that is at the event at Hard Rock that there'll be emails going out on. So we need partners to invest with us. We are blessed to have a great support from Bristol Motor Speedway, Ballard, Eastman, ETSU, Bank of Tennessee. That is our current supporters that help our business and help us help communities in this region. And this is a picture directly off of our website. You can go there and learn more as it goes live. I told you I would go fast and leave you plenty of time for questions. We appreciate this opportunity. It's always an honor to be here, and thank you very much.